Ladies and gentlemen, Clear Navigator Bowman here. Welcome to the Experience episode number 8. 8th episode of Experience, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Keith Shadow Haxter, Chocolate Missiles Mitchell. What's up?
It's just angry, tired guy today. But
yeah, how was work last night?
All I gotta say is, if you're thinking about becoming an IT professional, think about your options very carefully, because there are times you have to get up early in the morning, work till even later in the morning, go to sleep, and then get back up and do it again. Yeah, it's very tiresome, and you neglect a lot of sleep. So think about that.
No, that's understandable. So this week we got a little bit of news in relation to the creators update that's supposed to come out this spring. Xbox preview members and Windows insiders will be getting select portions of the creators update this coming week.
I was going to ask you about that. I totally forgot because I'm an insider. I totally forgot about that.
And I'm an Xbox preview member. So I mean, I'm thinking about going to become an insider for Windows, but I like stability in my PC. But some of the major things that they were talking about, Mikey Barra mentioned Windows 10 game mode will be available next week, certain parts of it. And one of the major things that he had to mention on Twitter that alleviated a lot of people's fears is that Windows 10's game mode it has been confirmed to support not only unified Windows platform games, but as well as Win32 games, such as Steam, Origin, Battle.net, those types of games.
So let me stop you for a second. I meant to stop you, but you're on a roll. So the Xbox preview program is gone. It's now Insider. They did that change back in November.
This is true. Yeah, I remember that.
So if you're a preview member, you're an Insider member, which is the same thing that they have with Windows Insiders, which I was going to access to that via my Windows 10 and other Windows previews. I've been Insider for God knows how long.
Right.
So wait, they clarified it, so it will be UWP and native X32 and 64 games?
Yes, x86 and x64 games will be supported in Windows game mode. So if you have games on Steam, Origin, GOG, Battle.net, all those other types, you can activate Windows game mode and it will allocate the proper resources.
Well, good. That's very good.
Which is actually kind of a good thing in a lot of ways because, like you said, people were kind of worried about that. And I was a little worried about that. I'm like, really?
So I recant my previous sayings. Good.
Yeah, so Windows is looking... It seems like the Xbox team is really interested in getting in that PC gaming space and making strides to work out with that. So I guess that might remove the need of things like Razer Cortex and such for Windows 10 users.
Nah, I doubt it.
Mikey Barr also noted that the forthcoming updates are about 4 key themes: streaming, performance, people, and competition. One of the major things that they talked about is Beam support arriving on Windows 10 as well as Xbox One, where Beam will connect to your Xbox Live account, making it very easy to stream your games to Beam and your Xbox Live community, where there's no extra software that is needed. So on Windows PC, all you gotta do is open up the game menu, which is either Windows and G, or if you have an Xbox One controller or 360 controller, press the guide button, and it'll pull up the game bar and you click the broadcast button. And on the Xbox One, you can start streaming with the one button press on the brand new guide that they're producing. The guide that they're coming with, it'll enable you just to press the Xbox button once on your controller, and instead of going to the home menu, it'll go to the guide. It'll pop up the guide, which is the update that's coming. A lot of people are a little worried about that because, there's a lot of games that can't be paused or anything like that during cutscenes, and we like to go. It's easier to go back to the home menu. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I really don't have an option just yet. It kind of reminds me of...
What do you mean an option? An opinion, you mean?
I don't have an opinion, excuse me. It kind of reminds me like what the guide feature is on Amazon Fire. Right. As far as games that can't be paused, I mean, there's not really that many games. Talking about games that are... The only game I can really come to mind is like the Dark Souls games. You literally cannot pause those any time. I don't think anything else that I'm aware of, so.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out a little bit. But, sorry, I didn't catch most of that.
I'm sorry, I'll go back on that. So basically, I don't know of many games that don't allow you to pause outside of the Dark Souls games. Nothing that I am familiar with, so I can't really...
Dragon Age as well, and a couple other games like that.
I haven't even played Dragon Age on console, so I have no idea.
All right, so, pretty much Microsoft purchased Beam in August of 2016. They've been really making a lot of strides integrated service with the UW environment with its 5 seconds or less latency. So this should actually be pretty dope for people that want to go in and just start playing a 5 second latency.
Are they really advertising 5 seconds or less? Because it's actually it's kind of like 2 to 3 or less.
Yeah, they say 5 seconds or less. When you go to set up your stream and you say normal RTMP, if I remember correctly, it states like 3 to 5 seconds.
All right. Well, after playing with it, testing it for a while, it's definitely less than 5 seconds.
Yeah, like that's the beautiful thing about it. It's like, dang, that's fantastic. It's amazing. Ibarra will be doing a podcast with Major Nelson this week. We'll be talking about more features that they didn't really talk about on the blog post. I mean, what are you expecting to hear about the Creators Update? At least in the Xbox, from an Xbox point of view.
My biggest thing was the integration to Beam. That was my biggest thing I'm looking forward to. Maybe some tweaks to the UI.
Right.
Anything else is an extra. I don't really know much of what they could be talking about, because I think they've done a lot of stuff to clean up the Xbox user interface. For one, they've done a lot of things to address the slowdown within the UI. So I'm not exactly what else they could be bringing to the table, but we'll find out.
Oh, they're also stating that if I remember correctly, they're going back in for the Creators Update. They're stating that they were, really working on their arena on Xbox Live, especially working with ESL and Faceit and a couple other people, and starting with World of Tanks and KI, you'll be able to create your own arena tournaments with more supported titles coming over time. So,
is that in-game functionality, or is that integration with Beam?
That's I believe Arena with Xbox Live is his own app.
I haven't played with it, so I'm not very familiar with that.
It's his own app. It's his own app, I believe, in the Xbox experience. But to be fair, that's actually really awesome, because we know Marvel 3 is coming out on the Xbox One as well as Marvel Infinite.
Right.
So, doing tournaments through the Xbox. Granted, tournaments will be obviously run on PlayStation 4 in the FGC itself, but online tournaments on the Xbox Live platform through Arena might actually be a good thing, especially if the netcode is actually good.
Well, I don't know if the FGC is going to be doing games on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on PlayStation 4. We don't have a confirmation on that. It really comes out to which one's the best version.
Right.
I mean, look what happened with Street Fighter 4.
This is true.
Saying, the PlayStation 4 version was not very good in the beginning, and they kept playing the Xbox 360 version. So we don't know which one they're going to use. That's neither here nor there right now. But that's nice to see that Microsoft is branching out and doing things like that. I would have rather them kept that stuff for like Beam integration.
Yeah.
Because we know they were talking about adding tournament play within Beam as well. It seems kind of confusing to have two different applications to do sort of the same thing.
It might actually end up being Beam integration, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, if it's Beam integration, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so I mean that's just something to think. That's just something to think about. Obviously we know that Xbox likes releasing controllers. They love releasing custom controllers.
They love releasing different color controllers just as much as Sony does with their PlayStation 4 consoles. Holy shit!
Like the PlayStation 4 released colored consoles. Microsoft is like, here's some colored controllers. The newest Xbox wireless controller colors are green and brown. Excuse me.
It's green and orange.
Green and orange.
Sorry, it's like a military flight jacket.
Yeah, flight jacket. Wow, it's green and orange. I said brown. Wow. Sorry, I was thinking about the Browns. Browns colors are orange. It looks like a Browns jersey. I'm sorry. And the all red controller.
I was gonna say it's not that ugly. Give some credit.
They're available exclusively at the red controller is exclusively available at Microsoft Store and GameStop for $65, and the green and orange is available exclusively at Walmart.
Right.
For $65. They are the newest Xbox wireless controllers, so textured grips, Bluetooth technology, improved wireless range on Windows 10 devices or on the Samsung Gear VR. Yes, there is compatibility with the Samsung Gear VR. So if you have a Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, or dead Galaxy Note that you can't use on cell phone services because they brick them, yeah, they're gonna be pretty compatible with it.
Yeah, it's another Xbox controller. I wasn't really excited about that. It's just, all right, that's nice, I guess. Maybe my excitement is only put down because the controllers are so freaking expensive. And not just Microsoft. Every game controller is expensive. PlayStation DualShock 4 controllers are expensive.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? The freaking Switch controllers are actually on par with the prices of the special edition controllers.
The freaking Switch Pro controller is like what, $8?
$70.
The Joy-Con is $79, $8. The Pro is like $10 cheaper. Come on.
I mean, they're on par. They're on par with the pricing for everything. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Like, everybody's getting mad. It's on par. It's like, did you really not expect this?
Yes, I kind of expected it to be cheaper.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I definitely hit that.
It's like, holy shit. I'm trying to play a game, and I'm trying to get somebody else to play with me or buy another controller, and I'm going bankrupt because it's like, wow, look at this. Look at the price of these controllers. Remember when controllers were only $30?
Yeah, just that for inflation.
Jesus.
Like, if you adjust that for inflation, like you'll start to understand. $30, the controllers being $30. So let's say let's say what a controller is. Let's pick a year. 1991 for the SNES controller.
I don't know. I didn't buy multiple controllers for SNES back then. My parents bought me that shit.
That's a $53 controller now. Think about that for a minute. So again, it's on par if you talk about inflation. You know, you adjust for inflation for those controllers. But that's just neither here nor there. But This week on Xbox, ladies and gentlemen, there's a couple things coming out. One of the major titles coming out is Power Rangers Mega Battle.
Did you say major titles?
Dude, it's one of the it's for online. Like, it's one of. I said one of. Sorry, Bandai's making it a big deal. What you want me to say?
I don't consider it a major title. Title nonetheless, but not a major one.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Is it just Xbox One? Is it coming on other consoles?
Yes, it's coming on other consoles as well. We're talking about Xbox One here, ladies and gentlemen. Rangers. I know how much you don't like Power Rangers.
I love the Power Ranger SNES games.
Oh, you talking about the 3 and the fighting game and the fighting game?
Not the fighting game.
And the fighting game. I just
the side scrollers, not the fighting game.
No. And Siegecraft Commander is also coming out this week on Xbox Live, as well as Hunter's Legacy, Metrico, The Assembly, and Toby the Secret Mine. I think the only game that really interests me is Hunter's Legacy, because if you like Metroidvanias.
I'm actually getting tired of playing those type of games. There's just so many of them.
That's understandable. I can understand where you're coming
from.
I
played so many Metroidvania games now. I was like, all right.
Because Metroidvania is like the new hype.
Was the new hype.
Was the new hype. And then, you got Mega Battle, which is a beat 'em up, in a sense, a 4-player beat 'em up in this vein of the original X-Men game. With Colossus.
I was actually playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles yesterday.
Which one?
Turtles in Time.
Ah, the good one.
Some Raspberry Pi. Loving.
Like I said, the good one.
Yes. Well, the one back on the NES wasn't bad. The arcade edition wasn't bad.
No, I'm talking about the good Turtles in Time. Remember Reshelled?
Oh, it was called Reshelled. It's not called Turtles in Time.
No, it was Turtle Shells Reshells.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah. There's nothing else for us to really talk about in terms of the Xbox, because it was like a dearth of news this week.
Yeah, the Xbox doesn't really have a lot of news going for it. So let's talk about Xbox Scorpio and what Microsoft needs to do in regards to E3.
I think we just need to have price. I think at the most we just need to have a price range and a list of games for it. If they're going to do exclusive games for it. Like, if they are. But they said they're not, which I'm going to have to take them at their word for it.
I don't believe them. I'm sorry. I don't believe them. Just like I didn't believe Sony when they said they wouldn't do that for the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Well, Sony is known to insult their fans' intelligence. I'm not trying to diss them, but I'm just saying this has happened before.
Yeah, because they're totally doing it.
I mean,
I'm not going to name which games, but they're doing it.
We just need a price point for the Xbox Scorpio.
We need a price point, or if we don't get a price point, we need to see the hardware.
Or a release date, yeah.
Well, I can do it without a release date. I really can. If you give us a launch window, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But we need to see the hardware, because there's a lot of speculations as to what AMD hardware it's using. Is it using Polaris? Is it using the upcoming Ryzen?
Which they're saying it is using Ryzen, but we're not sure. I'm not sure about that.
But that's the thing. We don't know. Microsoft isn't talking. AMD isn't talking. And there's been a lot of back and forth between the fans and the community. So we really don't know. Microsoft needs to make a showing at E3 with the Xbox Scorpio. It has to be there. Either them saying that, hey, we've confirmed the hardware, here they are, or them showing at least a mock-up of it, something. They have to, because right now, the Xbox community and the non-Xbox community are looking at Microsoft and saying, hey, what's going on here?
I'll tell it to you straight up. Bro. Even if the Xbox Scorpio ends up looking like a slightly bigger Xbox One, slightly bigger original, or looking like the original Xbox One, how would people respond?
They would say, you made the Xbox One S, why is the thing so fucking huge?
But for the Scorpio, though, I mean, take a look at the PS4 Pro. It looks like a freaking piece of 3-layer cake.
Looking at the Xbox One S and this PlayStation 4 Pro side by side, yeah. And it's funny how people were like, wow, the original Xbox One was a brick. And it's like, well, look at the PlayStation 4. Do you see how ugly this thing looks?
Yo, shouts out to parallelograms.
It's not going to win any awards for beauty, that's for sure.
Again, like I said, shouts out to parallelograms.
I'm sorry, and I can say that my throat's a little dry. I don't know why it's been like this all of a sudden. But yeah, going back to Scorpio, it just has to be there. I've talked to a lot of people on Reddit. I've talked to a lot of people on Twitter, and they're all saying the same thing. Microsoft needs to save face. And we're going back and we're looking at the past history for the last couple of months. Their 2017 lineup is just dry. We just lost Scalebound, for better or for worse.
I think it might be for better. That's how I feel.
You know, I don't want to touch on the topic because, again, there's a lot of speculation on that one.
But still, you still kind of have to touch on the topic. Like, I'm gonna spit it out there. I'm sorry. Platinum has had this game in development for 3 different consoles? Well, 2 different consoles over 4 years.
Yeah, and the thing, I guess we're done talking about this Scorpio, but yeah, it needs to be E3. I guess we could touch base on Scalebound real quick. So, people who aren't aware of what's happening with Scalebound, basically, when Platinum Games came into fruition, when they were actually born, the head of the company had been tossed around this idea about a game that involved dinosaurs, and they tried to get it made for the Wii, and it just didn't happen for one reason or another. So later on, when the Xbox One came out, from what I understand, the companies tried to shop the title around to various companies. And
10 years ago, because the company came out in 2006. So 10 years ago.
So when Microsoft said, hey, we'll bite, and they put in some input to it, Microsoft and Platinum Games went into a relationship to have Scalebound an Xbox One exclusive. Obviously, some things changed. Obviously, the dinosaurs went away and dragons became the thing. The protagonist changed up as well. I believe they said it was going to be a female. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. But the protagonist went through a major change, and thus they started working on Scalebound. And it's just been a number of years. 4 years, I think it's been. Since
2013 started developing? Yeah, so it was about 3 years, a little over 3 years.
Since the game went to development, since we heard about it at E3, and we just stopped hearing about it. Around this time last year, people asked Platinum Games what's up. They were like, oh, the game's coming along fine, there's no issues. And then we didn't see it at that E3 at all that year. And then we come around 2017, and it's like, oh, it's canceled now. But the big thing here is a lot of people were getting on Microsoft ass about this, even though Microsoft, the company that put out the money, and they were like, look, this is not working out. We don't know what's going on here. And they cut their ties. Now, I understand that's a business thing.
Sorry to interrupt, but put it into perspective. People are going to people have a tendency to go after the big bad because the people with money are the big bad people now. Well, they're going to go after Microsoft, but Microsoft is the only, like you said, Microsoft put out the money. It's not like they had they put out the money because they're going to be the publishers. So it's like, yeah, we're putting out the money to publish this game, but what's going on with the game? I think our money is being wasted right now. So let's cut ties because we've already lost a chunk of money.
Well, this is how polarizing things are. So Microsoft decided to cut ties with Platinum. We don't know we don't know exactly what happened because neither one of the sides are actually telling us what happened. And fans are mad at Microsoft because Microsoft is always the one doing the bad things. Microsoft always causes issues. Microsoft doesn't know what he's doing. Microsoft's out of touch with their fans, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But when, another company does the very same thing, it's like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. You guys are good. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Right. And I'm like, do you see how retarded you sound right now? No offense to people, but that kind of criticism, that kind of talk makes you a huge hypocrite, and it's something that we don't need within the gaming industry, within the gaming community.
Right.
It's not fine for either company to do the same mistake. You're like, Microsoft shut down all these studios, but yet you forgot over the years how many studios that Sony shut down. You've totally forgot that whatsoever. And then they're like, well, can other companies get the assets from Scalebound and make it for the PlayStation 4 or for the Switch? No. Microsoft owns that.
No.
Come on. Stop that. You guys need to really stop ragging on Microsoft because you don't like them as a company. If you don't like them as a company, then don't read their stuff. Don't play their games. Don't buy their consoles. Stop making up dumb excuses to hate them if you just don't like them. It's okay.
But let's take a look at the companies that Sony has closed.
No, let's not do that. There's too many.
There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, they've closed more than that. They've closed a couple of companies that were working on PlayStation VR games not too long ago.
But I would just say the ones that we know of. Zipper Interactive is closed. Studio Liverpool, 989 Studios. Remember, 989 Studios was a big deal.
Sony Liverpool, which was the people behind Wipeout.
Evolution Studios.
Evolution Studios is a good one because a lot of people are really salty. They're like, oh, they closed down a bad studio, put out a studio that stupid games. Like, no, they put out
Drive Club, son.
They closed the studio that put out a game that Sony forced them to release, which came out crappy, and then Evolution came out and stated that they were going to do everything in their power to make that game the best it can be. And you know what they did?
Shut them down in 2016.
They
did it. And
Evolution
they did it, though.
Turned that game around. They gave tons of free content. They fixed the car models. They fixed how the game played, and it became one of the best racing games on the PlayStation 4. And then what did Sony do? They shut them down. Come on. Are you really that fanboyish that you don't understand how it works on both sides of the fence here?
Yeah.
That is terrible. I agree what Microsoft did to Scalebound was probably the wrong thing to do. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, look what Sony did for The Last Guardian. They weren't good. They didn't close it down. Yes, you're right. They did. Because you know why? Because it was a Sony-developed title. They would be idiots to do that. They would have so much egg in their face if they shut down a game that was being internally developed. Come on. How bad do you think that would look for Sony? We had this game development for 8 years and we just canceled it.
Oh,
so
man.
That basically would give me the impression that I can't trust you because anything that you develop on your own, you might just say the hell with it. So if the PlayStation 4 just gets on your nerves, we're done. If the PlayStation 3 got on your nerves, we're done. That's a bad example.
You're right.
And if you ran a business and you kept pumping money into something year after year after year and you weren't seeing the returns, you're going to close it. It's business 101. It's not the first time it's happened in the game industry. It won't be the last time it happened.
Mind you, Zipper Interactive was released games like the Soulcom games, which were really good.
Yeah, the Soulcom games were fantastic. Everybody was looking forward to the next one. It was like, nope, closed.
Zipper Interactive closed. Incognito with the Twisted Metal games, closed.
I think that closed because Twisted Metal Black. Well, Twisted Metal Black, the last Twisted Metal, did not perform like they wanted to.
Are you talking about Twisted Metal Head On, which is the PSP one?
No.
Twisted Metal Black Online. Yeah, Twisted Metal Black.
No, there was another Twisted Metal.
No. You sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean...
Because I played Black. I didn't play the last Twisted Metal.
Oh, you're talking about 2012? The remake to Twisted Metal.
Yeah, that game did so bad.
Yeah, but I mean, going back into Microsoft, you take a look at studios that Microsoft closed. Like,
let's just say there was a lot, and let's just leave it that way. Again, both companies did the same thing, so there's no reason to get pissy at one company because they stopped something, especially another company that you have no stock in, you don't follow, you just poke fun because you can.
Yeah, keep in mind Bungie straight bounced out and left.
They did.
Twisted Pixel is closed. Let's see, Aces Studio is done. Lionhead is done as well.
Yeah, they both have the dirt. It happens.
And BioWare just straight bounced.
Well, BioWare is a really unique story.
That was a second party game. That was a second party company.
Right.
Yeah.
Microsoft didn't own them. They just decided they wanted to be independent, and then they got bought up by EA.
It's
like what?
Come on, son. Like,
it didn't make any sense. Whatever, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
what happened? Yes, nobody's innocent.
Nobody's innocent. Nobody's ever innocent. But it's a shame what happened with Scalebound. There's nothing you can do about it. Microsoft, your 2017 lineup is very lacking. Please show us something soon. Because your fans are starting to lose a lot of faith. And Crackdown 3 is not going to do it.
Bro, you better speak for your damn self. Because I'm sorry. Like
I'm talking to everybody who I've talked to on Twitter. Everybody I've talked to.
But you can only really talk for yourself. I mean,
myself,
just talk for yourself here. That's how you feel, right?
That's how I feel. You're not showing me anything that I want to play in 2017 right now.
That's all I'm saying. Everybody want to talk about, for the fans. No, I'm sorry. I don't speak for the rest of these people. I speak for me.
So speak for yourself. Are you disappointed in the lack of 2017 content?
Am I disappointed in the lack of content for 2017? Absolutely, I'm disappointed for the lack of content in 2017. But I feel Microsoft has always had a weird history, kind of like Nintendo, of bouncing back in situations where they know they're like backed against the wall.
Yeah, but the problem we talked about before is their transparency. They have to do it. One of the things we talked about going to 2017. What does Microsoft have to do to succeed? Their transparency.
They got to be straight up. They have to be straight up.
They have to. And I think for the most part, they're doing it. But at the same time, it's like they're playing a game of poker. They're hiding something. They're like,
they also kind of have to in a lot of ways. Like, you see, here's the thing, Keith. You can't be completely transparent. Remember, the video game sales deal is a game of poker. It's pretty much you can kind of tease and bluff your way through things, but you can't reveal your tell, because once people know what your tell is, they can pick that apart and basically ruin what you have. So, for example, if you're telling and you got this big old smile on your face that you got this good hand, people are gonna fold and just be like, whatever, and then wait. But if you can sit down there and surprise everybody, I think, and that's what they're trying to do, I think it's really good. I think it's really good that they actually try to surprise people.
I would say that if their competitors had not already showed their hand, but Sony's already showed their hand. They've told everybody what was coming.
Oh, they did. No, absolutely. And at the same time, and this was and keep in mind, this was after, the Scorpio. Well, this was before. Like, Microsoft did say, okay, here's the Scorpio and here's what we're gonna do, but we're not gonna tell you everything.
Right, and that's a good thing. But we still need to know about what you're doing for Xbox One now.
Right, and I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Just like they said during 2016 that before 2016 ended, they were going to have an Xbox event. And It did not happen.
Well, things happen. And scheduling conflicts become a thing. So if they're having an Xbox event, it'll probably be...
No. They promised. They have no excuse. They promised.
They promised? Did they specifically state the word, we promise that we'll have an event?
They said there's an Xbox One event coming before the end of this year. Stay tuned.
That's not a promise. That's just like, yeah, it's in the works. I'm sorry. Like,
if you say I'm going to release something before the end of this year, and don't give an update.
But you didn't give an update. See, that's different. You got to specify that. They didn't give an update. I'm just assuming things happened and, they couldn't do it because of circumstances. I don't know. Yeah, did they mess up? Yeah, sure. Like they didn't deliver. But if they still come out and say, hey, here's the Xbox event, what are you going to do? I'm asking.
I don't know what to do because I'm not Xbox.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yo, but real talk, that's the end of our podcast today. Final thoughts, Keith?
I am a little frustrated with the lineup. I really am. And even though I'm not 100% devoted to the Xbox brand because I play everything like I said. I think for those that are heavily invested in Xbox are a little bit frustrated. I think they deserve better than what they're getting right now. And I know they're feeling some sort of way looking at what Sony has to offer the PlayStation 4 fans, the PlayStation 4 owners, and they're looking at the lineup for 2017. Or just the first half of 2017. And they're like, Microsoft, please help us. You're our only hope. What's going on here? If anything, even though, like, for example, Fantech let the cat out the bag that Forza Motorsport 7 is coming.
Yeah.
I mean, we already knew it was coming. All right, you know the rumors out there. Talk about it. Tell us what we can expect from Forza, because we kind of knew it was coming. Forza and Motorsports and Forza Horizon trade releases every year for the last 5 years now. So tell us what's coming. What can we expect in Forza? Tell us you got a new game. Hey, you got a new mascot coming out. You're replacing Master Chief with somebody else who's going to be likable and represent the
John
Xbox
Cena.
brand.
I don't know, like
something. Give us something. Give us a game out of nowhere that nobody expected.
Yo, Cuphead, new mascot of Microsoft Studios. Let's go.
I mean, Microsoft has to do something. I'm rooting for them because I'm a gamer and I want them to do good. You know, their luck in America has been so-so. Their luck in Japan has been crappy. You know, Europe has been so-so as well. They're doing good in North America. They're doing good in Europe, but that's only going to last but so long.
Right.
They've got to kick it into gear. They've got to do something. I don't know what they have to do, but they have to do it soon.
That being said, ladies and gentlemen, my final thoughts is I like Lawrence Herb. You know, Laurie. You know, Lawrence. Fuck. Lawrence Herb. Larry Herb.
I'm pretty sure he'd slap you if you called him Lawrence.
I mean, that is his name. I like Larry Herb. He likes mashed potatoes from KFC, as do I. You know,
that stuff is nasty.
Yo, Keith, go drunk your home.
Yo, I make my own mashed potatoes. I'm sorry.
I make my own mashed potatoes too, but I'm sorry, that's a guilty pleasure. And if I can get some, I love the mashed potato bowls at Wawa and at KFC. Okay.
You have not lived until you've tasted that from Boston Market.
Dude, the mashed potatoes from Boston Market. What?
There you go.
So good, man. So good. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, check out all the podcasts on Outerhaven.net. The Nintendo Entertainment Podcast, Sony Centric, A1 Podcast, Warren Infinite Panels. Check out all the content that we provide on YouTube. Just search The Outerhaven Productions on YouTube. You can find us. Check out www.theouterhaven.net. Man, we got to get going because we got a lot of things to talk about over the next few weeks. So, peace out, guys.
Thank you for checking out this latest episode of the Outerhaven Experience. And as always, if you enjoy our content, be sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It'll help us grow our channel greatly. Until next time, guys. See you later.